Good morning, students. This is D.K.Sharma before you. Welcome you all on e-learning program prescribed by St. Xavier's Public School. As we all know, our whole world is suffering from COVID-19 coronavirus, and our central government as well as state government had given a lot of instructions and guidelines to follow us. Regarding this view, I am going to provide you e-learning materials for class 10th students. Being an English teacher, I am going to teach you the first poem of your prescribed Ncert book, First Flight for class 10th. The title of this poem is Dust of Snow, written by Robert Frost. First of all, I would like to tell you something about the poet. Robert Frost was a renowned American poet. He was a great scholar also. He was born on 26th March 1874 in San Francisco, as died on 29th January 1963 and in Boston, US. He was a great poet because he is the man having capacity to correlate the nature with human life's situation. And among his best creations, one of the best poem had already studied by you in class 9th. The title of this poem was The Road Not Taken. And how beautifully he expressed the situation of the dilemma of any individual and how any individual overcome from it. Now, on the same way, the new poem written by him before you, the title of this poem is Dust of Snow. Dust of Snow. It is a very short poem. In this poem, only 8 lines are there. And this poem is divided into 2 stanzas only. In this poem, the poet describes his own life situation when he was in great depression. He was dull and he having no ray of hope. And at that time, he sat under the hemlock tree, which was poisonous enough. But a creature was there on the hemlock tree who was the turning point of the mood. He had shaken down the tree and some frozen pulse of the ice, some flake of the ice fallen upon the body of the poet, and his dullness, his depression was totally disappeared. How this happened? Let us see the poem and know more. In the first stanza, the poet expresses that the way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree. The poet expresses that it was a winter season when he was under the hemlock tree. Hemlock tree means a poisonous tree having white flowers. So under the tree, he was sitting there. And at the same time, the crow was also on that tree. And he had shaken down the tree. And the dust of snow means small particles of the snow had fallen down on the body of the poet. Me described the poet's presence there. And at that time, when the crow acts that type of activity, some particles of the snow had fallen down on the body of the poet from hemlock tree, and it was the point. Now let us see the second stanza. Has given my horse a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had renewed. And when the action, whatever done by the crow, the frozen pearls means the particles, small particles of the snow had fallen down on the body of the poet. It has given a new hope in the heart of the poet, and his dullness, his dull mood was disappeared and his mood was changed. His mind was diverted. And in this way, he was eligible to save the remaining part of that day, which was he had regretted, he had wasted. because on that day, some part of the day was wasted in regression. Rude means regret. Some part of the day was wasted in regression, but after the small act done by the small creature, his mood was changed and he was eligible to save the remaining part of the day. How could he eligible to save the remaining part of the day? Because his dullness, his negative aspect of the life was changed into positive aspect, and he became a cheerful person, he became a joyful personality, and he regained the joy, the positive attitude again. This is the explanation of the poetry. Now students, I am going to tell you what are literary devices used in this poem. So first literary device is used here, that is known as assonance. What is assonance? Assonance, when vowel sounds are repeated in some lines. At that time, assonance happened. How it happened? Let us see the third and fourth line of this poetry. In this poetry, you can see that O, snow in snow, O word is repeated, O letter is repeated, sorry, and from O letter is repeated in hemlock, O letter is repeated. So O sound is repeated here, and O is known as vowel sound. You know that A, E, I, O, U are the vowels and O is vowel sound. So O is repeated in these two lines. So that's why assonance happened. The second literary device, which is very popular and well-known literary device, it is called alliteration. Alliteration means when in any line a consonant sound is repeated. At that time, alliteration happened. How? Let us see. The fifth line of this poetry, has given my heart. Has, a word has begin with a consonant sound H. Heart begins with a consonant sound H. And in this line, alliteration happened. One more. And saved some part. Look at these two words. These two words begins with consonant sound, and these two consonant sound are repeated. So alliteration happened. Now let us talk about the third poetic device, which is very important. That is called symbolism. Symbolism. What is symbolism? Symbolism means in this poem, a number of things are the symbol of something. See, in the first stanza, a crow. A crow is symbol of bad messages. So, a crow is symbolized here. So, symbolism happened here. Dust of snow. It is a symbol of positiveness, positivity. And it is a symbol of brightness. It is symbol of cheerfulness. So symbolism happened. Now hemlock tree. It is also a symbol of dejection. It is a symbol of death. So that's why symbolism happened. So three main poetic devices are used. Now we are going to talk about rhyme scheme of this poem. Rhyme scheme. What is the way to check the rhyme scheme of any poetry? Now let us see. Take the first line, last word of the first line and pronunciate it. So crow is written here. Pronunciation of crow. We can symbolize the pronunciation of crow by writing an alphabet A. Now read the second line. Second, as in the last word of the second line is me. Me is, the sound me is totally different from crow. So it is symbolized by B. Now the last word of the third line, snow. snow, crow having same sound, so it can again symbolize A. And tree, me having same sound, so it can again symbolize B. So the rhyme scheme of the first stanza is quite clear here. A, B, A, B. Now see the second stanza. Rhyming scheme of the second stanza. Last word heard. Second line of the second stanza, last word mood. They are both totally different from each other. So it can be symbolized again A and B. But see the third line, last word part. Heard, part. Perhaps the same sound. Again A, and mood, rude. Perhaps the same sound. So it is symbolized B. So the conclusion is here that the rhyming scheme of the poem is A, B, A, B. That is the end of this chapter. I hope you understood the chapter. Thank you. I am going to provide some more videos later. Stay safe, stay home.